हेलो इग्नो पॉइंट, कैसे हैं आप सब। आई होप आप सब अच्छे होंगे. सो वी आर बैक विद अनदर एक्सप्लेनेशन वीडियो. So today's assignment code is MMPC Business Environment. Note: attempt all the question and submit this assignment to the coordinator of your study center. Last date of submission for July 2023 session is 31st October 2023, and for the January 2024 session is 30th April 2024. So there are 5 questions. So let's get started. Discuss the controllable factor that exists within the internal environmental of an organization. The internal factors are generally regarded as controllable factor because the company has control over these factors. It can alter or modify such factor as its personal physical facilities, organization and functional needs such as marketing mix to suit the environment. All those factors which are governed by business come under a controllable environment. Internal factors are also treated as controllable factors such as money, materials, machine, etc. values as ethical convictions that direct the company in achieving its mission and goals. The values are defined as such. Top tier management, such the board of directors, create these. A key component in the organization's success is how much everyone adheres to these value systems. The founder's value system has a significant impact on the choice of business, the organization's goals, business practice and company policies. As an illustration, Infosys sees its people as a resource and lists employee wealth development as one of its stated goals. It offers creative benefits and compensation plans. Mission and objectives. The organization's overall goal or reason for existing is reflected in its mission. The organization action and economic activities are influenced and guided by its mission. As a result, an organization may alter or adjust its mission and goals. The goals and objectives of the company serve as a guide for the company's business domain. Priorities, development, direction, business serve as a guide of the company businessman domains. Priorities, development, direction, business philosophy, business strategies. X. Run Bakshi's push into international market and development were motivated by its goal and being a research-based pharmaceutical company. Organization structure. The hierarchical connection defining roles, duties, and supervision is the organizational structure. The organizational structure includes factors like the board of directors structure, management's professionalism, etc., that have a big impact on business decision. A corporate organization needs a favorable organizational structure for efficient management and operation as well as quick decision making. Organizational structure, board of director makeup, the level of management expertise, etc., all significant elements affecting company decisions. Some management models and approaches slow down decision making while other promotes it. Culture, shared values and belief in an organization determine its internal environment, also known as corporate culture. Organizations having strict supervision and control reflect the lack of flexibility and unsatisfied employees. These sets of value assist the employees to understand what organization stands for, what it consider how it works. Cultural value of business thus determine the direction of activities. Human resources. An essential component of an organization's internal environment is its human quality. An organization's strength and weakness are influenced by the skills, traits, capacities, attitudes, competencies and dedication of its people, among other factors. Because of employee-resistant organizations will struggle to modernize and restructure themselves. The qualities of the human resources, such as skill, quality, morale, commitment, attitude, etc., could influence the organization's strength and weakness. Some organizations find it challenging to implement restructuring and modernization due to employee resistance, where they are easily accomplished in other organizations. Physical resources and financial capabilities. Physical resources like machinery, plant and equipment facilities, and financial capabilities of a firm decide its competitive strength, which is the significant factor for examining its efficiency and unit cost of production. Moreover, research and development capabilities of a company decide its ability to innovate and thus increase the productivity of workers. Next question. With an increase in agriculture production, the active role of middlemen in the marketing of agriculture commodities has increased. Elaborate upon such middlemen in agriculture sector. With growth and increase in production, the active role of middlemen in the movement of agricultural commodities, which specialize in performing marketing roles and involve in marketing of products, has increased. The number of mediators can be classified into 5 as follows. Merchant middleman. The products that merchant intermediaries acquires and sell are the ones to which they claim ownership. The sale and the buy prices determine whether they make money or lose money. They come in 4 categories: wholesalers, retailers, village traders, mashkakors, agent middleman. They are basically representatives of client and do not own the product. They act as negotiators between sellers and buyers and help them in sale and purchase of products. They usually receive commission or brokerage on sale. Agent middlemen are of 2 types. Commission agents typically work in the wholesale market and represent a seller or a buyer in the buying and selling of product on their behalf. Brokers, they facilitate personal services for their client in the market while serving as a conduit for communication between buyers and sellers to get them into the same platform. Depending on the market condition, they may claim brokerage from buyers, sellers, or both, as they only room to provide their service to clients. Unreliable middlemen. These middlemen are the one who purchase good at a discount when there are numerous arrivals, typically during the off-season when prices are high. They take claim of the product and risk associated with an aim to make a profit on it. Processors are the one who hire agents to buy for them from areas where production is high either or bring on their business either on their own or on custom basis. Agents may also store the products and may deal with it throughout the year on continuous basis. They often are involved in advertising to generate demand for their managed goods and add farm utility to farm goods. Facilitative middleman. These intermediaries, as their name implies, ease the purchasing and selling process and help with marketing, since the majority of them are laborers who assist in the physical transportation of a good and products while loading and unloading them. They receive their revenue in the form of fees and service charges, since they allow the weighing of commodities and classify goods into several categories. Men and graders also fall under these groups. It's common to refer to them as the hub of the marketing wheel. These group includes transporters who help transfer produce from one market to another, and communication and advertising organizations that significantly aid in decision making about the purchase of items. Discuss the major recommendation of Narsimham Committee, which was set up in 1991 to analyze the falling efficiency of the Indian banking sector. Major recommendation of Narsimham Committee. The committee suggested deregulating the interest rate structure and stated that the interest rate should be set by market forces because it believed the current structure was too rigid and inflexible. A review of the direct financing scheme with a focus on weaker groups and small and marginal farmers as well as the little industrial sector. The total amount of credit to the industry that has been given priority must not exceed 10%. Reduction of the statutory liquidity ratio from 38.5 in 1991 to 25% over a 5-year period. In addition, the cash reserve ratio will gradually drop from its current rate of 15%. Establishment of 4-tier hierarchy for the banking structure, which should be as follows. The top 3-4 institutes in the banking structure, including SBI, have the potential to take on an international character. 8 to 10 banks with a nationwide network of branches engage in general or in universal banking. Regionally focused local banks with limited operation. Regional banks such as regional rural banks would only operate in rural region and financial, agriculture and related business. Introduction of prudential norms and regulation. Definition of non-performing assets. An asset would be considered non-performing if the interest of such assets remain past due for a period exceeding 180 days at the balance sheet date. Banks and financial institutions to be given a period of 3 years to move toward these norms. The committee suggested categorizing assets into 4 groups for provisioning purpose: standard, substandard, dubious, and loss assets. There should be a general provision made for the substandard that is equal to 10% of the entire amount still owing in this country is this category. A provision should be made to cover the entire gap in security in the event of shaky assets. Addition provision should be made for the secured portion of some dubious debt, ranging from 20% to 50% depending on how long the assets remain in the doubtful category. With respect to loss assets, it is suggested that either fully they be written off or provision be created to the extent of 100%. The committee also suggested that a period of 4 years should be given to the banks and financial institute to conform to those provision requirements. Bank and financial institutions should achieve a minimum 4% capital adequacy ratio by March 1993, of which Tier 1 capital should not be less than 2%. 6. An assets reconstruction fund to be established to the recovery of loans. This fund would take a portion of the bad and doubtful debt of the bank at a discount. And to the duality of control, and RBI should be the primary agency of the regulation of the banking system. Banks have access to the capital market and use it to issue new capital to the general public. Banks can now raise capital through public issues thanks to an amendment to the Banking Companies Act, provided that the central government's ownership does not fall below 51% of paid up capital. Now, private sector's bank may be established if they meet other conditions, including the minimum startup capital requirement. Furthermore, there should not be any distinction made between banks in the public and the private sector. Foreign banks are now able to establish branches or subsidiaries in India. What is foreign aid? Explain different types of foreign aid which are provided by developed nation to the least developed nation. Foreign aid. Foreign aid refers to any type of assistance that a nation freely sends to another nation in the form of a gift, grant, or loan. It is typically provided by the industrialized countries to the developing or least developed countries after natural disaster, economic downturns, or period of political unrest. The industrialized nations are mandated by the United Nations to spend at least 0.7% of their gross national income on international aid. Type of foreign aid. Foreign direct investment. One of the main forms of foreign help in the form of foreign development assistance is private FDI by multinational corporations. They typically take the shape of non-resident of the recipient nation's equity interest of foreign assets. For assistance, U.S. business can participate in FDI by buying stock in an Indian business. In order to address issues related to poverty, foreign non-profit organizations and government agencies may fund a variety of development tools as foreign aid. Usually, this takes the form of humanitarian aid from the wealthier nations that are OECD members. Engaging in foreign trades is a third primary type of foreign aid, where a country's openness to foreign trade may lead to development process, especially among the least developed countries, among the political stability and economic freedom. Bilateral aid. The kind of foreign aid is prevalent where the government of one country transfers money or the other kind of assets directly to the recipient country. An example of a bilateral aid is the American Bilateral Aid Program, which aims at spreading economic growth, development, and democracy. Military aid is another type of bilateral assist in which a country enters into direct defense contrast with the US or purchase US armaments. In some cases, the federal government purchases the weapons and ships them to the recipient nation. The US provides significant military assistance to Israel. Similar to bilateral aid, multilateral aid is given to the receiving nation by numerous nations as opposed to just one. In this situation, a single international organization gathers money provided by many states and sends it to the receiving nation. A very small portion of the foreign aid programs run by the US Agency for the International Development involve multilateral assistance. Humanitarian assistance. It is a form of aid which is usually provided in time of natural disaster, political instability, or a severe economic crisis. Such kind of efforts gets a higher amount of private funding than other types of aid. South Asia received more funds from the advanced economics during an earthquake which recorded a magnitude of 9.1 and was triggered by the tsunami, killing around 2 lakh people. Write short notes on the following. National income. The amount of total income that an economic resistant take home can be used to assess the economic's health and wellness. We can better grasp the economic growth and trajectory thanks to national income accounting. International companies comparison are based on data from national income accounting. It displays how well our nation is doing in comparison to other nations. Any nation planning process heavily depends on these figures. In light of these projections, it is possible to better understand how various economic actors interact. Gross domestic product is one of the most crucial elements in the NIA. The entire series of national income involves around this component. Most importantly, figures of national incomes are derived from the figures of GDP. So to understand national income, it is essential to understand this component. Different concepts related to national income. Gross national product or GNP, net national product or NNP, which is NNP is equals to GNP minus depreciation net domestic product. It refers to the economic output of the country adjusted for depreciation. NDP is equals to GDP minus depreciation. Market price. When any major or national income like NNP is calculated at a market price, it includes the cost of production and also various taxes, subsidies which are imposed and provided by the government. Net indirect taxes, the difference between indirect tax and subsidies. NNPMP is equals to NNP plus net indirect taxes. Factor price, it contrasts to market price. Factor price exclude the effect of NIT. NNPFC equals to NNPMP minus NIT. Personal income. PI is the total amount of income that a person or household receive from before taxes. It comprises transfer payment, payout like pensions and social security benefits, as well as income from factors service like wages, rents, and interest. Transfer payments that are not included in national income are included in personal income. Disposable money, income that is still available to individuals after taxes and other required obligation to the government has been made. It is the actual sum of money that a person has available to them for consumption and other outlays. Disposal income, personal income minus taxes plus fees plus fines. Underwriters. There is a need for someone who can subscribe to such securities when a firm wishes to go public in order to raise money, because the public might not have fully purchased all of its securities. The underwriter completes this task in exchange, and the issuing corporation agreed that in this event that the security is not subscribed for, the underwriter will either subscribe for the unsubscribed security themselves or through third parties. For this work, he received underwriting commission payment. Institutional underwriters and non-institutional underwriters are both possible. Each and every underwriter must register with SEBL. An underwriter is any party, usually a member of financial organization, that evaluates and assumes for a fee another party's risk or mortgages, insurance, loans, or investments. Underwriter determines the level of risk for lenders. Underwriters are critical to the mortgage industry, insurance industry, equity markets, and common types of debt. securities trading because of their ability to ascertain risk. A book runner is another name for a lead underwriters. Underwriters play a critical role in any industry in the financial world, including the mortgage industry, the insurance industry, equity markets, and some common types of debt security trading. An individual in the position of a lead underwriter is sometimes called a book runner. Atmanirbhar Bharat. Whether they are large or small, developed or underdeveloped, all the world's economics were severely impacted by the COVID pandemic. It had a significant effect on economic growth, and income and employment both fell sharply. It caused the decision maker to consider how the economic system functioned. At this time, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi mimicked the phrase Atmanirbhar Bharat in May 2020 while unveiling a pandemic-related economic package. Following this, there was an outcry about whether India was returning to the old communist model of a closed economy and whether we would be flying against the current of globalization. Though the different version of Atmanirbhar Bharat were already part and parcel of the Indian planning process since 1976. Even the 10th fifth-year plan makes reference to it as a passing. Atmanirbhar Bharat was named the Oxford Hindi Word of the Year of 2020. This shouldn't just be interpreted as being independent because it's against global economics. It implies the implementation of policies that support quality, efficiency, and resilience. PM underlined the crux of this slogan is about creating values, riches, and ethos, not just for India, but also for the greater human race in 2021. Under this plan, 3 packages have already been distributed. Atmanirbhar Bharat primary elements are demand, demography, economy, infrastructure, system. The government of India via this package has tried to extend a helping hand to almost every sector of the economy, that is micro, small or medium enterprises, farmer, rural laborers, migrants, or the empowerment of the poor. We will discuss some of the financial and policy highlighted which is initiated on the various economic packages given under the scheme. Balance of payments. The balance of payments for a company can be defined as a systemic record of all the transaction between the economic units of one country and the rest of the world in any given period of time. This includes all the transaction records made among the individual, corporate, and the government and help in keeping the flow of funds in track. To develop the economy as a whole, the balance of payment is the statement that files all the transaction between the entities, government, anatomies, or individuals of one country to another for a given period of time. All the transaction details are then mentioned in the statement, giving the authority a clear vision of the flow of funds. After all, if the items are included in the statement, then the inflow and the outflow of the fund should match. For a country, the balance of payment specifies whether the country has an excuses or shortage of fund. It given as an indication of whether the country exports is more than its import or vice versa. Type of balance of payment. The balance of payment is divided into 3 types: current account, capital account, and financial account. Current account. This account scan all the incoming and outgoing of goods and service between countries. And the capital account, capital transaction like purchase and sale of assets like lands and properties are monitored under this account. And financial account, the fund that flow and from the other countries through investment like real estate, foreign direct investment, business enterprises. तो यहाँ हमारा असाइनमेंट ख़त्म होता है. इफ़ यू हैव एनी क्वेरी तो आप हमारे व्हाट्सएप पे कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं, जो कि डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में अवेलेबल है. इसके अलावा अगर आपको इसका PDF चाहिए हो तो भी आप हमारे व्हाट्सएप पे कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं. थैंक यू.